Well, hello everybody. Welcome to the Rev Report. As you can see, I am here in our Newtown Congregational Church Sanctuary all by myself. I'm here because on today's Rev Report, we're going to talk a little bit about what reopening of the social, economic reality of our world means to us as a church. How are we navigating that as part of our life together? As you know, the state of Connecticut, along with many other states, are starting to try and find ways to make it possible for people to return to various activities that are both important economically as well as socially, emotionally, and even spiritually. And so we're in the midst of trying to navigate that as well, given the insights of the best experts that we have on the state level and the federal level, as well as resources that have been prepared for us by the Southern New England Conference of the United Church of Christ. We now have a team that has begun to look at the challenges of what it might mean for us to return to worship as we knew it. And the challenge is, it's really hard to imagine how we can return to worship as we knew it, at least in the near future. Unfortunately for us, a number of the challenges that are presenting themselves that we have to work our way through is that the way we did church before, gathering in one inside room, beautiful as it is, in close proximity to a number of other people, having somebody talk a lot, like me, for an extended period of time, having other people, including all of the congregation, sing, having people touch public spaces from doors to bathrooms to everything else, means that we are kind of a prime place for the COVID-19 virus to be able to be spread. In fact, if you could interview the COVID-19 virus and say, what kind of ideal place would you like to have where you could spread effectively, the virus might describe, if it could, church worship. That's one of the realities that we are facing. How do we navigate? How do we do things, and from sharing communion to welcoming each other to having social distancing in pews to wearing masks or not wearing masks to not having live singing to all these kinds of things that present challenges for us. So we have a team, the worship ministry team, along with our parish nurses and a few other folks, are beginning to work on the challenges of what it might look like for us to be in worship together. We anticipate that that's not going to happen anytime real soon. Just because even if we thought we wanted to do that and we felt that the virus was in such a place in our wider community to make that possible for us to meet, we have a lot of things that we have to work through to make sure that we are as safe as possible. So we're going to be starting to talk about that, and we are welcoming input from people about your thoughts in that regard. But I will say to you, we're also looking at the fact that if we return, we're still going to continue to want to live stream worship and make it available to many folks who aren't going to be able to be with us, either because they are at risk because of their own health conditions or they're not nearby. We have found that many folks are with us as we worship live streaming now. In fact, we have our attendance, strange as it may seem, during this time, our attendance in worship is up. We have more people engaged in experiencing worship with us than we had when we were just meeting for worship live in this sanctuary prior to the pandemic. And so we are aware that we are serving a need for folks and a connection to people that are able to be with us via that way. And so we want to continue that no matter what we do, and continue in a way that really is engaging and doesn't lack because we are limited in what we're able to do in worship as well. So there's a lot of challenges for us to balance out, to think about how are we going to navigate being the church and worshiping together. I will say, for some of you that may be interested, we are also considering how we might have some gatherings, especially during the summer, outside. maybe not on Sunday mornings, maybe at another time of day or in the evening where we might do some prayer and some gatherings with appropriate social distancing, because those don't present as much of a challenge as being indoor. So we are looking at that as a staff, and also with this new team that's looking at how we phase ourselves back into worship at some point when it seems as if the safety and the needs of the congregation match in our ability to do what we would like to do, which is ultimately return to in-person worship. But as I said, if you have thoughts about that, if you have questions or concerns, or if you really want us to know things that you think are important, we want to hear from you. So definitely email the church office, speak with Reverend Kristen or myself, because we want to hear from you. We love this space. I love this space. I want to see everybody back in person, but I want to do that in a way that doesn't put other people at risk, not just the people who show up, because some people say, well, I'll come, and it's okay. I don't care about the risk. The challenge for us is when we gather together, if we spread the virus, we have unintended consequences of spreading it potentially to other people, being carriers that then take it out, and other people who had no choice, who didn't say that they wanted to worship in person or not, yet get the virus because of things that we've done. We feel, and I feel as your leader, that that's an important obligation for us to always consider, that we're not a place that spreads this virus to others who didn't make the choice about whether they wanted to be in worship with us or not. So we're thinking about all these things, and as you might imagine, it's a challenge, along with all the other things going on in our world today, which we're going to talk more about in worship live streaming this Sunday as we celebrate Nurture and our children. Remember, it is Communion Sunday, so bring your own bread as well as your own cup to worship, and we'll see you on Sunday morning, and we'll hopefully see you at some time when we're together again in person, in the spirit of worship and in the spirit of fellowship. God bless.